What's up, vapors? Nick here for Spin Fuel's Daily Vape TV, and today we're going to be talking about the HorizonTech Arctic Tank. So first off, I want to give a huge shout out to Ave40 for sending me this for the purpose of review. Big shout out to them. Thank you guys so much. They've been a Spin Fuel partner for a very long time, and we really appreciate you guys sending this for me to review. I also want to announce that I will be doing a giveaway, so stay tuned for the details of that coming up after the review, and let's get on with the review. So this is the HorizonTech Arctic Tank. It comes with two coils in different combinations. Sometimes you can get them with the 0.5 ohm coils or the 0.2 ohm coils, or a combination of either. They also make a 1.2 ohm coil as well. So they have a total of 5 different coils. The 0.2 ohm coil, which is a single coil, can go up to 50 watts. The 0.5 ohm coil is 20 to 40 watts. The 1.2 ohm coil is a 10 to 25 watt. And with the bottom turbine coil, dual coil, I should say, the wattage goes from 30 to 100 for the 0.2 ohm and 30 to 80 watts with the 0.5 ohm dual bottom turbine coil. So this is a very unique tank in the sense that it has more airflow than the Atlantis, and it also has a slightly larger juice capacity than the Atlantis V1. This is a 3 mil tank, and it uses quad airflow, as you can see here, which I'll show you more in the close-ups. I'm loving this tank so far, and I generally use it around 70 to 80 watts. Any more than that and it gets a little bit too hot for me, and if you've ever watched my videos before, you know that I don't like a hot vapor, I like a warm vapor. So I tend to find that around 70 to 80 watts is perfect for me, and it saves me a little bit of battery life as well. But this thing can handle 100 watts, and I have vaped it at 100 watts before. And I just love this thing so far. I mean, let's just give a quick cloud production video. And as you can see, plenty of vapor there. This is the 0.2 ohm coil that I have installed in this thing right now. I have used the 0.5 ohm dual coil as well. I haven't gotten my chance to get my hands on the other coils, the single coils, but I'm sure they'll perform very similarly. So let's go down to the close-up view, get a better look at this thing. We're going to unbox one, and then we're going to take it all apart and then see what's inside. And also we're going to take apart a coil as well, just to see what's inside the coils. We'll go back to the main screen, talk about it some more, have a quick vape, and then I'll give my final thoughts. Alright guys, so here is the close-up portion of this video, and now we're going to unbox this beauty. As you can see here, this is a 0.5 ohm only coil version of this tank, and it also has different variations, as you can see here, as I listed off in the intro to this video. Different variations of the coils as well, which you can also purchase for this device. And on the back, let's just lift up this sleeve here. And here's the back of the packaging. Just lists all the parts, how to fill it. And it says here 100% USA made Kanthal wire. It uses stainless steel, Pyrex glass, and organic cotton. So there you go. Now let's go ahead and take off the cover. As you can see here, it says organic cotton, and I know that can be a big concern for some of you people out there. So just to let you guys know, they use organic cotton in the coils. There we go. So here's the tank itself. Very beautiful. And the only other thing in the packaging is one extra coil, and it is a 0.5 ohm dual coil with 30 to 80 watts. So there you go. And it's listed as BTDC, bottom turbine dual coil, and the single coils are just BTCs, bottom turbine coils. So this version of this tank only comes with the 0.5 ohm bottom dual turbine coils, but there are other versions out there. So let's just move the packaging aside and get a nice close-up of that tank. So here's the tank itself. As you can see, nice little engraving there, Arctic, HorizonTech. And here's the airflow control. Just slide it over, and this is just kind of free roam here, so you can just kind of spin this, which is one thing I will mention later as a con. Not a big fan of that. I wish it would click into place somehow, but there you go. Nothing on the bottom. And hopefully you can see the bore of the drip tip here. Get a good close-up on that as well. Nice wide bore tip that it's supplied with. And let's take it apart, shall we? So to fill it, all you have to do is take off this bottom piece here, and just like any other tank, you just kind of stick your needle tip in there or your dropper tip, point it right in that little hole right there and give it a squeeze, and that's how you fill it up. And this thing is made of entirely out of stainless steel, which is really nice. There's no plated brass or anything like that in here. The drip tip is fairly easy to come out too, and I do know that all other drip tips that I own fit and work, which is a little bit nicer than the Atlantis V1 in my opinion, because with that you can only find certain ones that actually fit good and snug. But with this one I've tried several different tips and they all work. So there you go. And to change out the glass, which you can actually do, just be very careful when you're unscrewing it. There's the glass section itself, which comes right out. It has O-rings on the top and bottom, and the top cap section. And the coil just unscrews like that. And let's get a good close-up of that coil. As you can see here, the wicking ports on it are huge, which I love. That's my favorite thing about this, I think. The fact that there's no dry hits. And there's the inside of the coil. Hopefully you guys can see. And you can kind of see where it's a dual coil. It's almost like a parallel spaced build, which is kind of interesting. But there you go. And let's put this thing back together and give you one last look of what it looks like all put back together. Voila, there we go. Alright, so next up I'm going to rip apart a coil that I've already used to show you what's actually on the inside. Alright, so as you can see here I have a used coil. I used this for about a week and a half. This was actually my first coil that I put through this thing, and I got about a week and a half before it kind of stopped tasting as good, so I decided to swap out that coil for a new one. And all you have to do to look at what's inside is just remove this bottom pin here, take out the insulator, and there you go. There's the beginning of your coil here. And we're just gonna try to remove it without really ruining it. Oh, I already broke it. So there you go. Okay. So it looks like we got everything out here. I did kind of ruin it a little bit, but hopefully we can dissect it a little bit and see what's inside. So as you can see, there's a little bit of one of the coils, and the other one I kind of stretched out a little bit, but hopefully you got a good look and you can see exactly how it's made. It feels like it's about 26, maybe 24 gauge wire. A little hard to determine. The coils themselves have a pretty decent diameter. They're at least, they're definitely more than 1/8 of an inch, which is usually what I make my macro coils to. So definitely a lot bigger than what I'm normally used to. And the wicking just kind of seems to be wrapped around the coil. Hopefully you guys can see this. And just little pads of, it looks like Japanese cotton to me, or something similar. Alright, so we have successfully dissected a coil. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape, and talk about this thing some more. Alright, so that was the close-up view. Welcome back. Now we're going to talk about this thing a little bit more, my personal thoughts on it. So far, I'm really loving this tank. Everything except for the drip tip that it comes with, I'm using stock on it right now, and I absolutely love it. I love the airflow. Generally speaking, I don't really rebuild these coils too much, but I think I might attempt trying to rebuild one of these in the near future. So if you want to see that, don't forget to comment in the box below. Let's get to some pros and cons. My first pro is going to be the airflow. There's going to be a pro and a con on the airflow, but for now it's going to be the airflow as far as the generally speaking, the maximum amount of airflow that you get out of this. It's very similar to hitting a dripper with a slightly smaller air hole. So if you're used to something with a smaller air hole and you don't like a lot of air through your dripper, you're going to be more than happy with this thing. For me personally, I like a lot of air in my drippers. I usually use like a Mutation X or a Doge or something like that with a lot of airflow, and I use it wide open for the most part. So it is a little bit more restricted than that, but overall for a tank, this thing is absolutely perfect for airflow. My next pro is going to be the overall design of this. I really like that the tank is slightly recessed from the ridge here. It means that it's not going to touch if you have it on a mechanical mod that's 22 millimeters and you lay it down, the glass isn't going to be scraping up against anything. So there's that as well. I really like that. My third pro for today is going to be the coils and the actual wicking ports on the coils. They are absolutely massive. As you saw in the close-up view, I've gotten not a single dry hit off of one of these tanks, even at 100 watts, which is truly amazing. Definitely wicks better than the Atlantis V1. But overall, I think that is probably my favorite thing about this device. Now let's go on to some cons. My first con is going to be the lack of the airflow clicking into place. You can't really get it to stay, and sometimes if I'm taking it in and out of my pocket, it will wiggle around on me and I'll find that it's accidentally closed off or something like that. Not a huge deal, but for some people that could be a deal breaker. I just wanted to let you know that it doesn't have anything that actually locks it into place, so keep that in mind whenever you go to hit this thing after you've been driving in the car or anything like that. My second con is going to be the drip tip that's supplied with it. I'm not a huge fan of metal drip tips to begin with, but especially at the higher wattages between 80 and 100 watts, that tip gets scorching hot. And I mean so hot to the point where it's very uncomfortable. For me personally, I think they should have just designed it with a Delrin tip or something like that. I mean, I know probably it would be cheaper to do it with metal, but honestly, I just don't like the fact that it heats up so much to the point where it gets super hot. And that also leads me to my next con, which is going to be the overall heat of this device. It does get quite warm, and if you're using a metal mod, it will heat up your mod as well, so just be very cautious with that if you're using this with a mechanical mod. If you're using it with a mechanical mod, it leads me to my next con, which is going to be the fact that people lately have been using some of these tanks on hybrid mods, which is extremely dangerous. It's not so much a con for the device itself, but just a safety warning for those of you out there that use hybrid mods such as the Apollo or the Simple mod or anything like that. If you're using these types of mods, do not use this tank on top. I had a friend of mine vent a battery when using this on an Apollo mod, so just absolutely do not use this with anything with a hybrid connection cap. Just be very cautious when you're using this. But to be honest with you, this device works so much better on a regulated device. So if you have a regulated device like the IPv3 or the IPv Mini, Sigelli 30 watt, Cloudpore Mini, anything like that that goes 30 watts and up, I would highly recommend you use it on that instead, because you have a little bit more control over the power, and that definitely helps. So that about does it for the pros and cons. Let's move on to my final thought and whether or not I would purchase this device if I did not receive it for free for the purpose of review. And my answer would be yes, absolutely 100% yes. I say that because I have yet to find a tank that acts like a dripper until I saw this. When I received it, I couldn't be more happy about it. I love the airflow on it. I've been watching other people's reviews and everything like that, and they rave about the airflow on this thing. So love the airflow on it. Don't like the tip that it comes with, but I just put one of my tips on there and it works great for me. I can go a full day on this thing, and I would probably fill it about 4 or 5 times, but other than that, it's not really that big of a deal for me. I go through a ton of juice anyways, and this thing actually drinks juice. So I would still purchase it though. I love this device, and I'm going to continue to use it for a long time to come. Don't forget to leave your comments about what you think about this device in the box below. If you would like to purchase one, don't forget to check out the links in the description. Again, I want to give a huge shout out to Ave40 for letting me review this thing for them. And let's go on and move on to the contest portion of this video. So the nice people over at VaporBeast.com were kind enough to send me along 2 of these things to give away. So thank you very much, VaporBeast, for sending me these to give away to my lovely fans, and I'm sure they appreciate it as well. This is going to be an Instagram exclusive contest, so make sure you sign up for Instagram if you don't have an account already, and go to my page, which is just at @DailyVapeTV. Make sure to follow me on there and follow VaporBeast as well. Comment and share, and I'll have the post up there by the time this video comes out. So it's a like, comment, and share, and follow me and VaporBeast. That's all you got to do to enter to win, and I'll be giving 2 of these things away. So if you haven't had a chance to go and like my Instagram page, now's your opportunity to go do that. So there you go. Then you'll have a chance to win a HorizonTech Arctic tank. So that about does it for the video, guys. Don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Check out spinfuel.com for lots more of my videos, as well as Smoke and Joey and Spinfuel exclusive videos. And as always, vape on.